Uh, Okay, you can't hear me. Well, it is 4 months. 4 months since the 4 months since I started working on this game. Obviously, a lot has changed. A good bit has changed too since the last video. Hold on, let me make sure that the music isn't too loud. Um. Anyways. So, thought I would start from the hub because that's kind of where most of the big changes can happen. Now, my little person has facing things. Actually, I need to fix the right and left facing shirt down the bottom. Otherwise, I haven't done the animations yet, so there's that. But we do have the naming system as well here now too. So, did I share that before? I think I did, but oh well. I'm showing again now, and it does play a role in the lore and stuff. So now to go over here to the Taoist over there on the top right, which I'm thinking about expanding the hub into the way in which I could scroll, just because of the shape of it. It's a little bit different than other insides that are smaller, but I don't know yet. We'll see. Anyways, so talk to Taoist. Taoist now has um their own what do you call it? Dialogue box. Says, I forgot what it said right there, but something about finding your name. But rest confident. Oh no, it's talking about how he attacks you to get you into the world. It all get explains. But rest confident if there are any kind of resolve. It is of no matter no. When what cannot be held cannot be missed. So what should I make? Because he injects you with a thing before you fight the boss. Then you fight the boss and you lose, and you come here. I think what's gonna be is something that like allows you to survive death, gives you like a rebirth kind of thing. I think that's a good way of going about that, actually. Then we could talk about like drug use and stuff through that medium. That'd be a really potent way to do that, I think. Anyway, it says, yes, you have found your name. Perhaps there's more of yourself in the lost. As to celebrate, have this. And this is where you will get your first graft. So I think I'm going to have the Taoist be a graft builder, which actually makes a lot of sense. It works really well because of alchemy, which is a Taoist thing. So, yeah. The underside is still sticky. Alright, it is said that those that bear the weight of the missing reap their blessings. The more of yourself you find, the more of me I may offer. So maybe we'll have it to where all the grafting... I don't know. I don't actually have the all the menus open yet. So the grafting, but that's only because of starting from the warp menu and not from just through playing the game. Let's see, where is it at? Accessory heart graft, which gives you 80 plus 80 more health. I probably have it give you more than just 80, to be honest, to fit the game. But flashy patch made of broken hearts. Might as well wear it. Why not? But now that we have talked to the person, we could come up to our statue of our mother over here on the top left, and that will warp us back to this map. And then, as usual, we're gonna go get the rusty hatchets, and then now please remember, every zone is unfinished. A lot of that's going to be like done through polishing later on. However, it's because you got to keep moving. So okay. And then we know this. We cut the log. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. And then it plays the cutscene, which is a cutscene that is not hand-drawn. I'm going to have a mixture of hand-drawn cutscenes and cutscenes that are done through other means. I just realized that there's something that I didn't do. So I'm going to make that a doable thing after I show you updated stuff when we get to the next zone. Anyways, it's going to be a mixture of hand-drawn, like animated cutscenes, and then a mixture of like in-game cutscenes like that, as well as cutscenes that are like when you see Lamb kind of show up, that are just done through like a picture here and there, which isn't the same as having it like all done as a fully animated kind of deal. So those are the ways in which I'm going to go about that. So this area has changed quite a bit since the last video. Now you still have the poops, of course, species. They block the road, so you get this one. Some kind of root. Oh, it almost smells alive. Gain brown root. La la la. The door is covered in waste. Best not to touch it. And then you have, of course, the rabbit over here. As usual, that runs over there and then explodes. The rabbit that we chase, we have that. But also... Oh, I can't go there yet. So I have this area. This is a placeholder. It's going to be like a pile of poop or something. Something that are like leaves, twigs. Leaves or twigs or something. This little person here. Either way, you're going to go pick up a shovel. So I still got to design all those. But I have to go do that first. So... now there's a couple of things. This area gives you your first, this little spot here where the rabbit ran to that's all strange and grassy. Has two little paths there. There's obviously that one, which I feel like people might end up going, but they also might not if they don't want to deal with the norovirus. But if they go this way, the little area shakes, and then you fall through that hole. Here. Area shakes a little bit, and then if I go down, if I walk any further, it'll break that little spot, and it'll put a hole in the ground that I fall through, and that'll be the environmental death. But I'm gonna skip that for now so that I could continue to show all the updates. I probably should have chosen a longer song for this. So I don't have to restart it over and over, but that's okay. Anywho, we're going down this direction. Over here. And then... Now, it's going to show the plushie light right here. But again, it's just a placeholder. It even says placeholder text and placeholder text too. But now, we come over here. And we could open the door. And now we could go through. And not only that, but we also got the shovel. So now we could come over here and figure out what all this was about. And this is the expanded area down here. There's a couple things. There is this, which is the save. So I'll go ahead and save real quick. Now, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to have it so that the item that you use for this can only be the rock. So I'm going to have, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the really big rock, the shiny, which I'll probably change to shiny rock or something. Right? As your run-of-the-mill throwaway item, and then some areas I think I'm gonna have require a special one, like the donut that I have that I'm using. Oh shit, I don't have the donut. I don't even have the donut. Well, shit. That's because I again, did not use the warp that gives me the donut. That doesn't matter. Either way, that saves. And it might seem like a simple thing, by the way, to like have the map change, like for doing, so like opening the door changes some layers. And then because of the size of this, and I'm overcomplicated, the save trash can is also hand drawn. It's drawn on there. It is not. It is drawn. It's a flat image. It's like not. It's so like the sprite and like my sprite and this rat over here next to me. If you can see it, both of those two things are objects like that are in the game, and then like the ground that we're walking on is a map. Well, so is this. This is the trash can is also a map, but it's actually complicated because you have to have like variables or switches that apply for each map change. So like when I open the like there has to be a different layers that are being taken on and off when I save, as well as when I open the door, and those two things have to relate to each other. Anyways, so here's a pot over here, and then it gives you it says the pot looks really familiar, and it gives you a choice to break it. I swear I showed this already, but maybe I didn't. So we're gonna break it, and then it gains 100 pennies, gain 1 brown root, gained what else did we get? A really big rock, which I can't actually use that yet because I haven't set it up for the rock. I have it set up for a different item because the testing was easier. Now we got to fight all these rats, so we're just gonna use a one-hit kill and get it done and over with real quick. That is a new thing as well. Is that when the little pop-ups come up, I should probably have it do something similar with the like when it says parry and stuff, but when the time things come out, like the parry and the time attack, this it does stand out a little bit more now because I dimmed the back. So cool beans. Anyways, so that aggregates the rats, and then they chase you. Now they're a little I probably need to try and work on that to make it so that it is more quick. Obviously when you're, but or maybe not though, because they're rats, and I feel like them being kind of annoying is better for that. But that's something I'm gonna have to fix with other things. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm sure that there's plenty of ways to go about that. It's not that big a video. I kind of think I should leave that just for that, because like just for the rats, because the rats are going to be really annoying like that, and then you're trying to run away and they're just going to bump into you a bunch before you actually attack them. But that would also be doable. That would, oh wow, I'm losing, pressing all the wrong buttons. That would also be doable through variables, but to be honest, like variables are kind of a pain in the ass. Just straight up, variables are kind of a pain in the butts. All right, all of that to show. Guess it goes straight to the next area. I was gonna show you the falling through the thing. You know, I could show you falling through the thing, and then we could show the next area, and then I could also show you what I was talking about in terms of like having the switches and stuff all mixed up. So, give you a nice little look at this. And let's see if I could get... Let's see if I could get nice and big. That's what she said, or that's what I said to her, but what's done is done. Okay. Woo. There you go. Alright, well actually before I do that, I wanted to show you, hold on. I wanted to show you what I was talking about. So here, this is the next little zone we're gonna go into. So here, you see it has this test for layers as an on and off switch. And this is everything that it does. So, but when this also has an on and off switch, and they have to affect each other, because otherwise the layers are just not going to make sense. They're going to be all on top of each other. It's going to be weird. So now this one, if you save, if the switch isn't on, which is activated by touching either one of these, And I was like, "Oh, I don't really need to do that, do I?" But then I realized that if you wanted to, you technically could go the whole direction to the left and then get the item and then go back the long way because you don't think about it, and then go all the way over here because if you don't realize it, someone doesn't realize it's a Miyazaki door, and then when they click on this, it's gonna reverse this. It's just not gonna be accurate. This is gonna show differently. So basically, any changes to this have to reflect on any changes that are gonna be made to the save because they both do have the same process. Because I don't have it as a actual object. It's just an image on a map. You can't even see it right here because I haven't updated the parallax that is shown on screen as an example. Was a little bit complicated, but the thing is, it works fine with switches. Once I figured out, like once I wrapped my head around what it is that I have to do exactly. But variables was super problematic. For some reason, I don't know why. I've had that issue before, so switches are better for that. So sometimes variables, like if I could avoid using tons of messy variables, I'm going to. However, in a situation where like if like for example the poop, you touch a certain amount of poop, each time you touch a poop, it gives you a certain amount of variables, and then an event happens on the side. There's a parallel that activates whenever you have a certain amount. It's just it's messy, but it is what it is. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna go to tunnel here, and then I guess I'll show you what I'm talking about and grab that, and then I'll open this. Let it do. Because now I have the donuts and the shovel. So I go over here, and the lights are on now, but that is only because I have just picked up the, or because I use the warp. And so some things just aren't activated. But yeah, so now it shows that, and it'll show the door open. But if I didn't open the door, it wouldn't show the door open. But those things, they have to be set up to reflect that. Like one change has to be able to be changed or like understood during another change, if that makes any sense. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm just not smart enough, I guess. So anyways, we're going to go through the little hole here. I still have to put the little activation thing so you know to actually press a button, but you know, we're going to go in here. Oh, and I forgot to do, there's one thing I forgot to do, which was add, hold on, I'm going to do that real quick. So, also show you what else I was talking about. That's what these videos are. They're updates to the game, but they are also updates to, you know, they kind of show the insides of doing everything. So this is parallel, so it's always checking for a state, and so or a condition, I guess, and the condition is noroviruses. When each time you touch a poop, you get a norovirus thing, and then it activates this, and then I have all of these work towards that. The healing animation, it gets it heals on its own. Also parallel that is activated when you are like these conditions. Sometimes things just don't work the way that they should, and so sometimes you have to have like a backup way of making things work. Question song is copyrighted. It shouldn't be. We'll talk about music later on because there's some risks I'm taking. But anyways, this is also a part of the norovirus thing, and this is not. So all those are. But while I'm here, I guess I should take that, and then I should put that up here at the top. Okay. Now, oh wait, I almost didn't do the thing that I was supposed to do. All right, where is it here? Is it this? Yeah, okay. I just gotta copy these, put them into the Kingdom of Rabbits. Hold on. That is so I can zoom in. Okay. Now we're gonna go check out the Kingdom of Rabbits a little bit, which I just built, started building last night and have built today. So, zones are going to, like, I want to tackle a bunch of issues, and while they can integrate and will integrate into different parts of the game and different areas and stuff, I think that, like, it's just going to be a lot easier and more grounded for both as a storyteller and as a consumer if there are, like, dedicated areas where you really focus on a certain issue. And so power and like corruption is going to be, it's power, right? It's power, and hold on, let me check my, I guess, a note real quick. It's power and brutality and power, so just power, I guess. Power and the brutality of it is gonna be the focal point of the next area. And also, I think what I'm going to do for this spot here, just to refresh the camera, is right here, when you click a button, I'm going to have it like force in a zoom so that it shows close up of the going in the thing. But otherwise, you fall through. Same falling animation as when you go through the hole. Don't really need a whole lot of them. And now we are in the Kingdom of Rabbits. Now, however, this is one flat layer, and it is not... it's just one flat layer, and I just started working on it, so it's, you know, it's super messy and everything, so forgive that. But this is going to be a little town kind of area. Now the Kingdom of Rabbits is going to expand beyond this little area. Over here on the right, in the right wing, the east wing, maybe, oh dude, there's so much I could play with just thinking about the correlation of this in like the White House, so I could like turn it into like, I could make it do stupid shit that Trump does. Oh god. Anyways, this area over here is gonna have like a little passageway to an expanded, or somewhere around here is gonna have an expanded passageway into other areas. But now this area is inhabited by, as you could probably guess, rabbits. The original rabbit that we are following is going to have something to do with the Prince of Rabbits, who is this over here, whose portrait you will be able to see through this, which will be a painting, which is not currently a painting. I haven't really done much in the way of design with this yet, but I will. Like, I have the basic design. I think I might need to change the feet up a little bit to make it so it's not as flat looking. I'm looking at that, but regardless, like, that's the easy thing to change. So, talk to our friend here who does not have a dialogue box. Right now it just says this world is beyond that of gods, and so there can be no devouring. And I have him say that because he's going to say that at some point. That's not going to be the first thing you say. You're also not going to reach him right away. It's going to be like the end of doing a bunch of little switches and stuff. Don't know if there's going to be any combat in this area. Maybe I could have you fight, because over here on the west wing is, you can't see him right now. Maybe you can, yeah, a little bit. There's oh yeah, look at that, I broke through. There's some rabbits over there. But that area is, obviously this is where power is gonna start coming into think. Is little naked rabbits. They are naked. But you know, it is what it is, okay? My influences are like fear and hunger here. But I think that, like, sexuality and the power of sex and misuse of sex is something I wanted to tackle, and this section seems like a good place to do that. And by misuse, well, we'll worry about that when we get there, but I don't mean just being sexual. That's not misusing sexuality. You're perfectly allowed to be sexual. Also, not prostitution, but in terms of, like, using somebody's sexuality against themselves is something that we're going to explore here for sure. But there's these little rabbits, and I'm not sure yet if I want them all to be AFAB bodied, you know, boobs. I don't know if I want them all to be boobs, or if I want to mix in the genitalias. I do not know yet. I'm not sure which would probably a mixture of them, but like done in a certain kind of way. But anyways, this one, when you talk to her, it says, Lady Rabbit, you must be burning with all those clothes. And if I do any kind of like sex thing, I don't know, it's got to be done. It's got to be done in a way that doesn't make me have to make the consumer download a patch. Like, and I just want to, like, as far as Fear and Hunger 1 is as far as I'm willing to go. I think for that purpose in particular. This one says, why do you look like that? All fleshy. This is, this area, by the way, if you'll notice, does not have the fog. And that's because this is like an area that's going to be kind of within its own space, which will eventually lend to conflict, like lore of conflicts between like the rabbit people and some of the new ones, or the new old ones. The new ones. I don't remember. I gotta check my notes. Basically the freaks, a conflict with them and other gods and everything. But yeah, and then there's gonna be a little pool over here, so gotta draw that, a little hot tub or whatever. You know what this area is gonna be like. All media's always seen it. So yeah, that is that's what that is. If you want to see it close, let me see if I can pull out some oh, I don't actually have images of either of them just ready to go. I'd have to pull out Photoshop. But I suppose that's kind of that as far as like updates go. It's a lot more than what it seems like. I've gotten a lot done. Even though a lot of it's conceptual, it's always conceptual. You know, it's kind of like the main thing with development I'm learning. Is that concept kind of leads the way. But yeah, now one thing, in terms of design, I kind of want this place to be more fantasy-like. So, like, not as, like, deeply textured as some of the other areas. You know, like, the grass is it's gonna be like how it was in the tunnel. I like the contrast of that, and it really sells that, like, Alice in Wonderland area, which is what this is. In fact, I probably will actually have Alice in here, because I could do that. So I might actually do that. I think that would be cool. Maybe you could, I'll probably just stay as an NPC or something. It'd be like Alice inspired. There's so much I could do with that, so I'm going to do something with that. I mean, it's perfect, right? And I wanted to play with that for a while. And I can get as weird as I want with this game. The lore does allow for it. And I bring the lore up a lot, but that's because some of these things are really weird. But this is ultimately a story-driven game, although I am putting a lot of work into making like the combat interesting and engaging, and just the systems in general interesting and engaging. But it is still story-driven, even if it's kind of scattered between Dark Souls world building as well as obscure storytelling. So we'll see how that works out in the end, but probably decent. But I think that's it for the most part. Let me pause real fast and see if I can show you the bunnies. I guess I have to do that now that I said it. Hold on. Okay. Well, here you go. Here is this is a Prince Rabbit. His sprite. No downstairs genitalia, as you can see. I don't know what that would look like. And then Lady Rabbit, as you can see. Unshaded, of course, because I've been doing the shading through, like, their portraits will be shaded. These aren't going to be their portraits. They'll be probably not super far off, to be honest. Like, what else could I do? These are damn near portraitsy in of themselves. In fact, I probably will. Maybe I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure it out. Whatever makes the most sense. Like I said, I do need to kind of change their feet a little bit so that it's not as flat. Let me look at this one so I don't get in trouble. It's a little bit more, not quite as flat. Like everything else is fine. Like up to there is fine. But the feet need to be brought back just a tiny little bit in order for this to be usable for me, I think. Because otherwise I think it's just a little bit too flat. But that's an easy design change, and if it's one that doesn't change, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. There's room for that kind of stuff. Obviously, I do play a little bit with the flatness of everything, but yeah. Well, that is that. And I guess I'll see you in another month unless there's something interesting that comes up. Now, I did forget. I probably should put this in the beginning of the video, but I have another video that is out. So I will I don't know if I should link that one. I don't know. I'll have that linked in the about me for that video. But Snap is being unfunded, at least for November. But realistically, until everything opens back up, and just 3 days for them to do something, I don't think they're going to do anything. I think it's just going to be a really shitty month. It's an act of cruelty, and a lot of people don't have any way of like making money easily in some kind of way. They don't know what to do. One thing that I do, my main thing that I do, which is enough to qualify for work through self-employment, for the state of Michigan at least, in order to get SNAP, is surveys. I do a lot of it. I have total earnings of $815, 1,000 surveys completed, 199 rewards redeemed, and I kind of took a few weeks off this last month because of depression, but not entirely. I still made decent money anyways, so because I got lucky really. But I didn't know that they were going to end the world. Now I got $30, but it's okay because I can make more. Anyways, I'm going to have a code down that is a link to this now, full disclosure. While the link is just to sign up to the thing, it does help me. So like I make 10 cents of make 10% of everything you make, but it doesn't affect your income. But I do make 10%, so I made like a total of $1.44 with 20 people attached to that, so not much. But full disclosure, it does do that. But I'll have a link down to that. It is surveys. It's a pain in the ass, but if you need some extra money, it is something that you can do. That is an option, but it requires patience, and it can be depressing. But sometimes life is just the way that life is. So I'll have a link down to that, as well as links to the video that's talking about that. But anyway, so I guess that's it for now. I can't think of anything else. I don't think that there's anything else. Rabbit Kingdom is where we're at now. It's going to be this big fantasy land. We're going to explore power, brutality, sexuality, abuse, and just like abuse of power. And it's going to be a wild ride. And it's going to be weird because that's kind of the fun part of exploring. The ultimate thing that I'm exploring is exploring the inner bits of consciousness and the absurdity of it as a concept. So that's going to be what we're going to do, and I hope to see you there, and I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as you can. That's it. All right, bye.